Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Alamo Drafthouse, Charlottesville. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. I'm James Sanford. I'm in charge of the programming here, and you guys are the first Alamo audience to see Rear Window in America, because it was originally supposed to be playing in May, and I got so many people asking me about Rear Window after we showed North by Northwest last month that I called the programming department and said, yeah, in Charlottesville, Rear Window's going to play in April. So we moved it up just for you guys. And we got Vertigo next month. So if you like James Stewart and Hitchcock, you're set for next month as well. No matter when you watch Rear Window, it is always the right time. This is one of the all-time greats, I do not have to tell you. Released in 1954. The movie was adapted from a story called It Had to Be Murder by Cornell Wilde. It was written by John Michael Hayes, although there was a lot of contention about that. John Michael Hayes later would say that Hitchcock unduly took a lot of the writing credit for the movie, although the screenplay still has John Michael Hayes' name on it. So there was a bit of tension there. As far as putting the movie together, this would be the second time that Hitchcock worked with James Stewart. The previous time was on a film called Rope in 1948, and that had not really been one of Stewart's favorite movies, nor was it one of his favorite filming experiences, because Hitchcock had set that movie up, if you haven't seen it, so that it looked like it was one long continuous shot. And when you watch it, you almost feel like you're watching like a Broadway play or something like that, because it's very seamless for the most part. That took a lot of work. And Stewart was an actor who was much more interested in getting feedback on his performance, talking with the director about the tempo of the scenes and the pace and that. And he quickly found out Hitchcock was not really into that. Hitchcock was much more of a technician. He was a lot more interested in like camera setups and pans and zooms and that sort of thing. And Thelma Ritter, who is in the film, said of him, he would never tell you if he liked what you were doing. But if he didn't like what he was doing, you would look at him and he would look like he was ready to throw up. And you would know that like something was gravely wrong. So Stewart went through the first experience with Rope and was not exactly dying to work with Hitchcock again, but he really liked the script, and he decided to give it a second chance. And it was a good choice because their relationship was a bit more cordial the second time around, and they would go on to make two more movies together, The Man Who Knew Too Much in 1956, and of course Vertigo in 1958. This movie also marked the second time that Hitchcock was working with the great Grace Kelly. He had previously worked with her the year before on a picture called Dial M for Murder, the only Hitchcock movie in 3D, and very barely in 3D. And at the time that he had hired her for that movie, Grace Kelly, it wouldn't be fair to say that she was a joke in Hollywood, but she wasn't exactly the one that was like most in demand. Everybody thought she was certainly beautiful. She was, by all accounts, a lovely lady and very friendly. Ava Gardner said she had a wicked sense of humor, and so she was fun to be around. But in her first pictures, she had been a model who became an actress, and she was still very much a model. Very stiff, very poised, didn't really have much warmth. Even when she was cast opposite Gary Cooper in High Noon, the reviews for her were not particularly flattering. She got a lot of stuff about Grace Kelly is charming, Grace Kelly is certainly beautiful, and that sort of thing. Hitchcock really saw potential in Grace Kelly to be a real, vibrant leading lady. And so he started working on that in Dial M for Murder, where she finally got some good reviews. And then it really blossoms in Rear Window, where she got outstanding reviews. And a lot of that was working directly with her and getting her feedback, because she knew the modeling world and knew about the kind of character that she was going to be playing. And so a lot of that was incorporated into the actual setup of the film, which in turn led to the conflict with John Michael Hayes, but that's another story. Another major character in this movie is the apartment building that everybody can't keep their eyes off of. It was actually like a fake apartment building. It was constructed at a cost of almost $100,000, which was very serious money in 1954. It had 37 different apartments. You would not want to have moved in, however, because some of them didn't have floors. Some of them did not have like complete walls and that sort of thing. But 12 of them were in fact fully furnished, and if you wanted to live on a film set, it would have probably been a nice place to live. It was so renowned during the construction that magazines like Architectural Digest and Life magazine actually did features on the building and said, oh, and by the way, it's featured in this Alfred Hitchcock movie that's coming up next year. So the movie opened in the late summer of 1954 and became an absolute blockbuster. You will quickly see why. It is funny, it is scary, it is romantic, it is everything you would ever want out of a movie and more, and it is presented in gorgeous restored 4K Technicolor. I had a couple years ago when I showed this movie, and they came up to me afterwards and said, I just want you to know, we're embarrassed to be here. And I thought, oh my gosh, what happened? Did they get bad service or what? And they said, we own this movie on Blu-ray. We have a great big TV. We have like a home theater set up. We've watched it like 50 times. And they said, we had never actually seen this movie until we saw it on your screen. And I said, the magic of theater, folks. That's what it's all about. So tonight it is yours to enjoy. If there's anything our wonderful servers can get for you tonight, just fill out one of these order cards, drop it in the slot right in the rail in front of you, and they will be around to assist you. At the end of the night, if you have had wonderful service, please remember to give them a very nice tip, because their eyes will be on you. And they don't miss a thing, trust me. Ladies and gentlemen, Alfred Hitchcock presents the movie that he said was so terrifying you should never see it unless accompanied by an audience. Ladies and gentlemen, Rear Window. Have a great night.
Tony, I want to see you outside.
Hey, what gives? I thought you cats didn't dig spooky shows.
Tony, this is important. Hey, what's